We'd really like a brick exterior for our home.
Do you want brick or do you want the illusion of brick?
The illusion?
The illusion. We have a product that's a little cheaper. It's called peel and stick brick.
You mean it looks as good as brick?
Oh yeah.
And it's just as durable?
Well, now you're putting words in my mouth.
You don't need peel and stick brick, you need regular exterior brick. It's very cost effective, plus you don't have to go out each summer and paint it. Once it's up, it's up. Now there's a lot of different ways to actually lay the brick, and as you can see, this is just a standard pattern across the wall. But once we hit our window, we have what's called row locks. One line would be a row lock, but this is actually a double row lock. 2 lines where it's actually the end of the brick. So instead of a long piece coming right up against the edge, we have ends here. When it comes down here, we have a window sill. And it's actually bricks just stuck in lengthwise, broken off just a little bit back here. And they lean forward a little bit, so any water that hits the window comes down, it runs away from the house instead of into the house. Up at the top, we have what's called a walking soldier. That's where every other brick is sticking out, just like soldiers marching back and forth. Over here behind me on the corner, we have coins. So you notice we've got 4 rows of brick that actually stick out, then 2 rows in, then 4 rows again sticking out. Makes the house look more expensive, makes it look bigger, and it's not very expensive to do. Your bricklayer can do this type of stuff and never slow down while they're working. Very inexpensive to add some looks to your brick. Down here on the bottom, we have the very important part, and that's called a weep hole. And actually there's moisture that builds up in the wall from the different temperatures inside your house from outside. It's like a glass of ice water out in the summertime. Condensation built up inside your wall here, and it needs a way to get out. So it actually drains down the wall, and then it comes out these weep holes. So don't ever caulk that in, don't put silicone in that. Those holes are supposed to be there. You'll see them about every 4 feet all the way around your wall. You need to let the moisture out of the house. Now, as far as color and styles of bricks, there's thousands of choices. Let's go inside and take a look at a few of them. Well, there's a number of different choices when it comes to brick, and we're going to start with the first choice they've been making for over 400 years. This is a handmade brick, and they make them one at a time. And as you can imagine, they're more expensive when you do it one by one. But as you can see, it's got a different look that you're just not going to capture in most brick. Next to it here, we have a wood mold brick. They have a wood frame they make these brick in. They make them about 10 at a time, and as you can see, it has a different look and definitely a different texture on it, different style. It looks a little rough around the edges, but if that's the look your designer is going for, this could be the perfect brick for you. Now when we come next to it, we have all different types of shapes and sizes. You can use these for trims. This could go underneath the window or maybe right up against the top where your fascia overhangs. You could put it right up against there for a different look. Go ahead and pile your brick up to there and just put it on. All different looks. Here we got a little bit more curve to it. You could even use it as a fireplace mantel. And we go down here on the end and we have an architectural design brick. So you can see they've scraped across it, give it a different look. And also it's a modular brick. If you put 2 of these side by side, put one on the top, it's the same across. So you could do a whole column and never have to break a brick with this size brick. This brick looks a little different because it's actually pavers. You can use it anywhere in your yard to come up with a brick design. This paver is very thin, and that's to overlay, say, concrete for your patio or maybe your back porch, and that way the door won't interfere with it. It's low enough you'll miss the door jamb. This thick paver is if you're building something new, say a driveway or a sidewalk. You're not overlaying it over concrete, you're building something originally. Now next to it we have another architectural brick here, and as you can see they've scraped it a little bit for design. And you've probably wondered, what are holes for in brick? Well, actually it's to lessen the weight on the load. You can haul a lot more brick out to the job site when they have holes in them than you can if it's a solid brick. This is a super heavy brick out here. This is concrete brick. As you can see, you can get different pigments, different colors. Very, very solid brick, but very heavy. Expensive to haul out. You're going to haul a lot fewer brick when you go to the job site. Back here we have antique brick. You can see some mortar on the edges. This actually came out of a building, and they haven't got all the mortar cleaned off of it, but that's somewhat for a look. You want a little bit of that. Expensive because you can only get it when a building's being torn down. This is made in a local plant like these were years ago, but this is brand new. This came from the Dehanis plant in South Texas. And you use that if you're ever adding on an addition to an old house that has this antique brick. You can use that, and you can see they match pretty good. So instead of having the cost of going out and finding more of the exact same brick somewhere in the country, you can just go ahead and buy new brick. Next to it here, we have clay brick, and this is king size. It's bigger than the modular. Take one of these and put next to it. So you can see longer, so it takes fewer brick when you're putting it on the exterior of a home. And clay is a great product to build brick out of. It's got the holes in it as well. Back here in the back we have more antique brick. As you can see around the edges, it looks like this building was probably in a fire. It's got some markings on it here as well. And it's very popular right now. It gives a great look to a building. Makes it look aged, even though it's not really aged. But again, it's expensive because you have to get it off an existing building. Now this brick is brand new, just like this king size brick was, same size, but they tumbled it. Before they put it in the kiln, they actually rolled it down some wood planks and gave it that antique look. This is also a new brick that's made to look like an antique, and it's called flashing. What they do is when they run it through the kiln, they have the temperature change. Let's say it's very hot in there. Well, all of a sudden they drop it 50 or 60 degrees through part of the kiln, and that gives it these different colors and that different look. And as you can see, it's a little crack there. So again, you get that antique look, except you don't have that antique price, much more affordable. We've got another brick that's brand new, made to look like an antique. And then back here, we have a Mexican adobe brick. Now this one also actually goes through a kiln, unlike the old ones, so it's a little stronger than they used to be, but it's not as strong as some of these other bricks. You mainly use this to match up any Mexican adobe that you might have on an existing home. A popular misconception is that the brick actually holds up your house, but that's not true. It's like any other exterior, whether it be stucco, vinyl siding, wood siding, or brick exteriors. It's actually the wood frame that holds up the house. You're just putting an exterior on it. Now you start down here at the bottom where you have a brick ledge. Pull back the plastic here and you can see the foundation actually comes out, and that's going to support the weight of our brick wall. So we'll start our brick on top like that, and we'll just keep stacking it up. And we start hitting these brick ties that the bricklayer will actually pull out when it gets to those levels. Now normally these are about 16 to 24 inches apart, and then you hit one every 16 inches when you go up. And they're corrugated because that helps hold the mortar. And what happens is when your row gets here and you put a little mortar on it and then you stack your next row on top of it like so, that holds the wall in place so it'll never pull away from the house. Those ties are actually nailed into the wall, so we're going to have a good, strong, durable surface. And that's what I like about brick. It is very durable. You're never ever going to have to paint it, so it makes a great exterior, and you don't have to worry about golf balls bouncing off the side of your home.